5 still to come. Next up, it's the Pirelli National Superstock 600s. So let's go back to James and Jack.
Casey Mundy from MCE enjoying her moment on the podium presenting the trophies. This is the Superstock 600 grid. Andy Reid, Mason Law, Tom Oliver on the front. Dan Stamper, Alex Alicia and Kyle Ride on the second row. As you see it now. Joe Collier, Ben Godfrey and James Lodge on the third row. The fourth row headed by Ben Curry from Kevin Van Leeuwen and James Edwards. And what a pole position this is from Andy Reid. He just went out, did a warm-up lap and then set a new fastest ever lap for the Superstock 6s round here. So the tall Irish boy on pole position on the FFX Yamaha dives to the front straight away and launches down towards Paddock Hill Bend. So great start then from Andrew Reid. The 20-year-old hits the front from pole position and everybody safely and handily through Paddock Hill Bend.
Yeah, the sad thing is, I think with Andy Reid's pace that he's shown already, they might not see which way. He's got a big crash in the background. There's about 4 riders off there from probably about mid-pack. We're seeing number...
Boys, just when I said you've got safely through the first turn without messing it up.
Ashley Buxton, one of them, for sure.
Ashley Buxton from Ipswich on the Buxton Racing Yamaha definitely was one of them at the front, not knowing anything about that chaos behind him. Andrew Reid leads the way. I think Mason Law might have got through into second place straight off the front row of the grid. It is Mason Law there. Kyle Ride, the former 125 champ, is there in third place ahead of Alicia, Stamper, Curry, Collier, Lodge, Godfrey and the other Irish kid, Andrew Irwin.
I think the safety car's out, I think. Jack,
sorry, Alan Irwin.
I think the safety car's out. Oh, there's somebody out there. That's a big steady. And the safety car... There's oil down there. The safety car flag was up, although Andy Reid and Mason Law are still cracking on.
So we've got a problem here. There was the big pile up there, the second pile up at Druids Hill.
It's got to be a red flag. It has to be a red flag. It is a red flag.
The red flag out.
I just think there must have been oil from that first crash up at Druids. There must have been. So we see the first crash. This is from a different angle. And there's... Yeah, let's have a look. There's 4 riders off. There's nobody in that. Oh, no. Maybe I'm just looking at the bike still running, going back onto the track. It's quite steep down there onto the apex of Druids, and I'm just wondering if that's dribbled some oil or fuel or coolant onto the track, because the next time they came round there was another 4 or 5 riders off.
The boys come rolling back down pit lane then, and they'll have it all to do again. Number 67, Andy Reid off pole. Number 22, Mason Law running in second place, coming off second place on the grid. The lad from Benfleet in Essex on the Trick Moto Kawasaki. And those two lads particularly happy with their machinery, really happy with their qualifying. In fact, the FFX Yamaha boys were saying that Andrew Reid was really impressive because he'd come in thinking he'd gone fast enough, and then they said you could probably go a bit quicker, and let's see if we can get you on pole position. It's good to see that everybody's looking in reasonable shape there up at Druid.
Yeah,
but Andrew Reid went out, he did one sighting lap, and then he just pulverised the lap record and came back in and said, that'll do then, no one will go quicker than that.
Just look at that, there's more bikes up at Druids than there is in the bike park out the back of the circuit here.
It is a bit of a mistake.
Yeah, you're talking about Andy Reid there. Andy Reid is a talented lad. We saw him in a 125 riding completely over the top, but you could see from what he was doing and how fast he was in the corners that he has a lot of talent. And he's Irish, which means he's not afraid and he'll get stuck in. That's just the way they are.
He did say... He did, and when I said it was good that we got you off the 125s then, because you know you're obviously enjoying the 600. He said, yes, but it was the 125 that got me the ride. People saw me and the performance I put in on it, and I said, well, that is certainly the case.
The ride he had at Assen last year on the 125 was either going to get him a ride in this class or another class, or locked up. It was close either way. We're going to see the second incident, and I think there must be some oil down there, because the way they were Look, one slides, two
yes,
slides,
they
and
all
then
had moments.
So there is
Yeah.
actually. I think there was a blue bike from the original crash, went back onto the track and then dribbled something onto the track, because that is for sure something on the circuit. And I mean, the marshals have a difficult job. It's their job to see if there is anything on the circuit. However, they had that much work to do from the initial incident. 4 bikes down to be picked up, riders to be attended to, that you can forgive them for not spotting absolutely everything.
And we hadn't realised that both Reid and Law had massive moments at the front.
Yeah. Everybody went through it, had moments, and then they started crashing in lumps.
And everybody's thankfully being picked up. We've another number we can check there is the number 61. That's Benjamin Curry from Melbourne, the Australian on the Motor Breakers Kawasaki, unfortunately out. So too number 80, Dan Stamper, who qualified so well on the Allied Racing Kawasaki. So some guys who had qualified really well and would be looking forward to good races are amongst the victims in those two multiple mishaps. So we'll restart with as many people. And I think one of the other ones who might have gone down is the former Supermoto star Malachi Mitchell-Thomas, the kid on the Silicone Engineering Racing Kawasaki, who runs number 13. And I used to commentate on him, James, when he was racing at the top of his game as a young man in Supermoto. He's still only about 20, and he's already placed something like 5th in the European Supermoto Championship. And this is his first venture into road racing.
Well, what we do know is the Supermoto riders, top ones, generally don't go far wrong when they go road racing. It is a good grounding for them. They normally make good road races.
Other fallers we've got down there, James, number 96 Ryan Dixon from Folkestone is one of the guys there, as well as Mitchell Thomas. Number 24 Jordan Gilbert on the Team Haribo Star Mix Triumph was another man who went down. And 38. So too, besides the other guys I've mentioned, number 38 Niall Campbell,
yep.
all the way down from Cambuslang in Scotland on the Niall Campbell Racing Yamaha, which is rotten luck, isn't it, when you've come that far down to Kent.
It's a long way back north with a bent R6.
So that means we think we'll have... it's just flashed off the screen now, so I wasn't able to tell you. We're losing 7 riders, I think, altogether from an original starting grid of 38. So we should probably have about 31 riders reconvening for the rerun.
Anybody make a restart or all them?
Andy Reid, of course, will once again go off pole position. Mason Law off 2nd place. Reid on the FFX Yamaha that he's absolutely loving. Mason Law, the number 22 rider on the Trick Moto Kawasaki. Incidentally, his father, Graham, used to actually ride motocross with the man who is managing director at Kawasaki UK. That's a useful relationship to have.
Right then, I am told a bit of a complicated situation. 2 crashes, one whilst they were under safety car rules. The people who fell off in the 2nd incident while the safety car was out are eligible to restart if they can, and if they can get the bikes back and get them fit to go. The riders from the first crash, not.
I don't know quite what to say to that.
Well, do you know what?
Look how far
just
it's
look at, yes, look at the shape of that oil. That's that bike running itself back onto the track and then being picked up. That big curved line, we're looking backwards up the track, not in the direction of racing. That is that blue bike that run itself back on. It was still running. Sometimes when your bike falls down, it can hit the twist grip or pull a cable out. The bike's still running. The wheels touch the floor. It's downhill anyway. You can see that. There's a fair camber there up at Druids. That's run itself back onto the track. It's ground a casing out. I think that'll be oil, because I think that'll come out of a side casing of the engine.
So we await a restart then for the European Superstock 600cc Championship. The man on pole position, Speedy Reedy, Andy Reid, only turned 20 on the 15th of last month. Born in Belfast, current hometown Jordanstown in County Antrim. He's tall, he's 5'10" or 11. Tall lad, was much too tall for the 125. One of his hobbies besides cycling, swimming and motocross, his hobby is drawing, and he is actually a supremely talented tattoo artist. If you see some of the artwork that he's done, particularly for Jack Kennedy, the Dubliner who races in the World Supersport Championship, it's really, really spectacular.
And can I just mention, while we have time, however many tattoos he's already got on to Jack Kennedy's body, he's going to have room for more, because Jack Kennedy has been in the gym. He's a big... Oh, yes. He's making a lot more room of skin for young Reedy to get cracking on with more tattoos. And I tell you what, some of that artwork on, whether you like tattoos or not, the craftsmanship is fantastic.
If there's one good thing about these red flags, guys, it's all this useless information that you get to give us. We don't get enough time for that kind of stuff. Fantastic. And the great thing is, of course, that none of the riders are injured, so they're all okay. A few of them won't quite be ready, I'm afraid, to take the restart, though, but that will be done on the original grid positions after a quick break. See you soon.
Champ Ty Woofenden battled away in round one.
The world champion goes to the front. But look at Smolinski! The German, he's come from nowhere!
But the outsider, Martin Smolinski, dominated proceedings.
And the German wins it! You've just witnessed a miracle!
Who will be on the podium in Poland? FIM Speedway, Big Gosh, Saturday, 5:30 p.m. Live on British Eurosport 2 HD.
Archery. Power and precision. Passion and perseverance. Dedication and devotion. Intensity and integrity. Archery, the ultimate sporting challenge.
Uplifted by new design, with a panoramic glass roof and more room. Space is a feeling. The new Skoda Rapid Spaceback, available from only £135 a month. Visit skoda.co.uk for more offers across the range.
Skoda, simply clever. Your car is a sitting duck. It could be taken when you least expect it. Gone, just like that. You see, this guy is a professional, and he does it every day. 1 in 3 cars we check has a hidden past, and if you buy one that has outstanding finance or is stolen, you could lose the car and the money you paid. At HPIcheck.com, we search millions of records to protect you from being out of pocket and at risk on the road. Before you buy, click HPIcheck.com.
In life, you cannot always choose what you do, but you can always choose who you are. We are the Sappers. With every brace and every cufflink, we say, I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul.
The annual company retreat, planned, as usual, by this guy. Nature lover, people person. And you put up with it all. Because he's also booked you a room in this place! Planet Earth's #1 accommodation site, Booking.com. Booking.yeah.
Welcome back to Brands Hatch. The Superstock 600s are back out on the grid, ready for a quick restart. But just before we go back to that race, I've just managed to grab hold of Tommy Hill, who's been helping out a couple of the riders in this championship, Tommy.
Yeah, doing a few bits and pieces, more so a Be Wiser Insurance. So it's nice to be here again, especially the sun's out today. I've actually been here all weekend, and I've had so many people stop me and want to have a bit of a chat and ask why I'm not out on track. But yesterday, yeah, I was glad I was the other side of the fence eating my chicken burger, and at the bar at the end of the night, it was good. So, but yeah, here helping the Weiser team out, but looking to the future as well. I mean, as a brand, they're keen to move forward and try and step up to the big boys class. So it's something that I want to do. You know, I'm 29 now, I'm getting old. You know, moving on. So I just fancy doing something different, starting a new chapter, and being involved in the championship still.
Saying that, looking at Chris Walker's performance in race 1, you've got another 20 years yet, Tommy. Plenty of time to come back.
Exactly. I didn't know he's 50 years old. Is he?
Not far off.
Yeah. No, but it's good to see a mix with different riders out there. I think the good thing with the British Championship now and the Superbike Series is everyone's on the same tyres, same ECU, and it's a good time to be involved in the championship, and it allows other teams or smaller teams to come up through and shine at the top. So it's great.
Thanks very much, Tommy. Yeah, enjoy the rest of the day.
Thanks, mate.
OK, thank you. And back to you, James and Jack.
So the original lineup will adhere for the second attempted running of the Superstock 600 race. Once again, the 20-year-old Andy Reid will be on pole position. Alongside him, the let me get this right, I do beg his pardon, Mason Law on the Trick Moto Kawasaki, and alongside him Tom Oliver's Yamaha. That's number 20, Tom Oliver, on the Anglia Fixing TK Colt Moto Yamaha. You know, when you start something you wish you'd never done. Dan Stamper, number 80, will be on the Allied Racing bike. He heads up row 2 from Alex Aulisha and Kyle Ride. Third row will feature Joe Collier, who was very fast in Superstock 6 last year, Ben Godfrey and James Lodge. And the fourth row will be, there's quite a few young Australians around. 18-year-old Australian Ben Curry ahead of Kevin Van Leuven and James Edwards. Number 155, James Edwards from Dartford, very much a local boy, just up the road on the 3GI Technology Goal Racing Developments Yamaha. There's number 67, Andrew Reid. He got a stonking start first time out. Can he do it again? Just behind him, you could see number 11, Joe Collier from Leicester, now mounted on the Weiser Kawasaki under the judiciary of Tommy Hill, who we've just been talking to. The lights will go on first and then off. You can see there's a fair few gaps in that grid. So some people have got some very empty track to aim at. Here they go, 14 laps now. This shortened second running of the Pirelli National Superstock 600 Championship. A championship for young guns that first got into action back in 2001. Ben Wilson was the winner then.
Yeah, it's Andy Reid who's made that start again, just like the first race. And like I say, he's possibly got the pace to clear off in this. Mason Law did go with him in the first start, though, albeit only for a couple of laps we got to see him.
So off the start, your friend James Lodge has made a good start.
Yeah,
he's into 6th place on bike number 7. Joe Collier's behind him, James Edwards, and the little Irwin lad, who's Andrew Irwin. I was getting his name mixed up earlier, I beg his pardon. That's Glenn Irwin's kid brother, of course. He has got a bright start as well. So Irwin riding bike number 8 from Carrickfergus, the MWR Kawasaki, as they come sweeping across the finishing line. Check them out at the end of that first vital lap. And the leaders Reid. Law is second again. Ride third. Godfrey in fourth. James Lodge, Tom Oliver, Joe Collier, James Edwards, Andrew Irwin, and number 57, Levi Day. Yet another Australian on the CPE Motorsport Kawasaki.
Yeah, I'm glad to see that whatever they've done to that oil up there, they've dressed it. People are going straight over it, and not a problem at all. So good job from the marshals up at Druids there.
The latest addition, you might have just glimpsed there just outside the top 10, the latest addition to the Team Haribo Starmix Triumph team is none other than Charlie King, who was a strong competitor in the Triumph Triple Challenge last year, the tall, gangly youth from East Anglia.
Yeah, nice lad is Charlie from Great Yarmouth there. Long trip to get anywhere from there.
Crossing the line.
Except perhaps Snetterton. Here's James Lodge, up the inside 4th, I think, for him now.
So he might have got the better then of yet another of the begging pardon, Ben Godfrey from Long Eaton on their Qingdao WK Kawasaki. So he's getting nudged back to 5th place by Lodgy.
Good run from Kyle Ride, you know, on the yellow and black bike there, 3rd. It's not done much with the bigger bikes, and he certainly clicked with this Stock 600 class quicker than I thought he might.
Kyle Ride, bright-eyed young man from Derbyshire way. and he's getting hounded now by, it's Lodge, isn't it, number 7, I think, who's made a breakthrough, and of course both of them former 125 GP champions, James.
I was just going to say they know each other well from 125s. Also, Ride spends a little bit of time in Huddersfield because he goes out with the sister of Joe Irvine, who lives in Holmfirth.
Really? Glad we got that.
Have you got all that?
Tell you what, Lodge is having to fight off. Who is that in the red and white? Is it Tom Oliver? Tom Oliver from Colchester on the Anglia Fixing TK Colt Motor Yamaha.
Oh, well,
is really trying to get the better of Lodge.
You've said it once already. It's an R6 Yamaha.
Yeah, OK. Well, yeah, I didn't realise. I set out on it before I realised what I'd let myself in for then. In the lead, Andrew Reid. Second place, Mason Law. And there, the bright yellow bike of Kyle Ride, number 97 from Jacksdale on the Pace Days Track Days Yamaha R6. He leads a clutch of lads who all want that third place off him. And as they come charging down the Brabham Straight, he's got plenty of pace in a straight line, Kyle Ride, because James Lodge still a couple of bike lengths short of trying to launch an assault as they go down Paddock Hill.
Yeah, he might be launching an assault up to Druids now. We see number 7 going up the inside of the asset and Lodge through into third place now. Nice move, clean enough.
Joe Collier set the fastest lap, 48.0. So Joe Collier, who's currently in 6th place, the latest acquisition by the team Haribo Starmix crew, is putting the pressure on this lot. He's now almost become part of that battle, but he needs to make a move quickly, of course, because we're on the 5th lap of only 14.
Yeah, with these lads, it's still plenty of time to do a bit of damage, I'll tell you. They don't need much of an excuse.
Dropping down Paddock Hill Bend, here comes number 11. Oh, that was a close call. Oh, is that Collier? I beg your pardon. Collier has moved from Haribo Starmix Triumph onto the Be Wiser Kawasaki. Yeah. I'm sorry about that. So I reckon Tommy Hill's taught him moves like that. So Joe Collier, who was really unlucky, actually, because he completely missed his braking point into the hairpin at Knock Hill last season and got taken out of a couple of rounds as a kind of reprimand for his misbehaviour, because he fetched down one of the lads in front of him, and that obviously dented his championship chances. He ended up 4th in the Superstock 600 series. There he is, number 11 on the green Be Wiser Kawasaki.
Yeah,
that's now right behind Kyle Reid.
Kyle Ride, yeah.
Kyle Ride, I beg your pardon.
Reid, Ride, Patata.
Andy Reid looked pretty comfortable at the front. He set a fastest lap of 48.2, and he's consistently in the 48.2s, James.
Yeah.
I'm just checking out the lap record is, believe it or not, 47.561. The track was definitely running faster last year.
And your man Collier sliced underneath Kyle Ride up into Druids there just to take 4th.
And ahead of him, in some impressive riding going on just ahead of him, Andrew Reid, of course, at the moment seems just comfortably able to hold that advantage, but this is a big scrap going on behind. And Mason Law now has James Lodge for company.
Yeah, well, I'm going to say James Lodge is going to have to get going, because I don't think Collier's going to waste much time getting on the back wheel of him.
James Lodge, 24 years old now, the former chemistry student from the University of Manchester, and that was a snaking move there from number 11 Joe Collier. And is it Mason Law who's been demoted a little bit, or is he still up there in 2nd place? There's so much squabbling going on. Fastest lap, James Lodge, 48.008.
Yeah, James Lodge, you're right, he did graduate with honours. Very, very intelligent lad is James. Yet to find a job, though. Get off your backside, James, and do some work.
He describes himself as a sales agent.
No, he's actually, yeah.
He's working with
vague. He's working with his brother. He's doing. I know that. I'm just taking a minute. I know him that well. We go out for a curry about every couple of weeks with him and his uncles and all the rest of the Lodge family. Good racing family, I've got to say.
Across the line to complete 8 laps, Andy Reid leads the way, and then it's Lodge. Law, Collier, Ride, Oliver, Godfrey, Van Leeuwen, Irwin and Day rounding out the top 10. So Andy Reid leading it. This is what's going on behind him, with Mason Law now feeling the hot breath of Joe Collier on his neck. Collier tries to get the drive down the hill to Graham Hill. Yeah, meanwhile, Law is focused on trying to get back past Lodge.
Yeah, Mason Law needs to... I mean, he had a little bit of a go there. It's so easy down into Graham Hill to try and go to the inside of someone and have them not see you and come across the front of you. it's not the best place, not the easiest place to pass. I guess in this class you've got to go where you can.
Those two in picture there, James, interestingly. Mason Law, of course, is being very much mentored by the double world Supersport champion Andrew Pitt, and right behind him, Joel Collier, now being attended to by Tommy Hill. A variety of lines over the top of the hill there, James. What was I asked Neil Mackenzie what his favourite line was through Paddock Hill Bend, and he said upright and on two wheels usually was the only one he could regularly take.
Yeah, and he normally was Mr. Mackenzie. I've got to say, he didn't go upside down too many times. Andrew Reid in front, he's on a Yamaha. The rest of the pack behind, Kawasaki mounted.
They just clipped a tenth of a second off him on the last lap, James. I don't know whether Andrew is just kind of relaxing a little too much. He's not the sort of rider you would expect to, but the gap is shrinking. Lodge is moving towards him, and he's got a bit of time.
Just have a look at Lodge's line, especially round clearways on the start and finish. It's very wide. You tend to find the people who cut the teeth on the 125s and the smaller bikes in the old days, 250, two-stroke GP class, tend to have wider lines coming out and carry a little bit more corner speed out of the corners. You cannot do that when you get onto the big power classes like the superbikes, because if the bike's on its side, you can't use the power you've got. You've got to sit him up and get him going.
Lodge is the first man under 48, and he's definitely catching. That was a 47.99, 48.36 for Reid, so he chopped a fair amount off the Ulsterman's advantage. On the 11th of 14 laps, suddenly this race has come to life.
Yeah, and Lodge is dragging Mason Law and Collier with him as well. They've raised the game a little bit.
That's a wonderful time. How many lines can you take? About 44 assorted lines through Clearways and the Clark Curve. And now, 3 laps to go.
Yeah, and you see that Lodge thought he was close there in second to Reid, the leader, because he was trying to get in the slipstream. And if you're a little bit further back than that, you wouldn't even try. You'd go dead straight. So he does feel like he's got a chance, I think.
What do you think's caused this, Jim? What I mean is, well, why should Reid, who looked so comfortable in the early stages, suddenly find that he's got far too much company?
Well, I don't know. I mean, loads of things come into it. Tyres. I mean, as far as Reid has gone this weekend, I didn't really see. I didn't want to say it, but I didn't see anybody staying with him. The other thing I will say is Reid, if it comes down to a last lap move, is super aggressive, and there is a real big difference in lines there. Lodge went a little bit wide there in second, but Reid has got quite a tight line onto the start and finish straight.
Onto the penultimate lap there. Andrew Reid, sporting his brand new Scott Leathers, leads the way on the FFX Yamaha. 47.885 second lap for Joe Collier there, number 11, running in 4th place.
Well, I'll tell you what, if James Lodge in second, he's going to do anything about winning this race, he needs to do it now, because they've got this half lap and 1 more left. He's not going to get much opportunity to have a go at Reid.
Probably, I guess, the biggest opportunities tend to be Paddock Hill and up Halewood Hill into Druids.
That is the 2 places. Well spotted, Jack. That's where you... Oh, he's not waiting for
that. He's not. He sits Andrew Reid up. Well, and that's cost Reid dear, because as he comes round, he suddenly finds he's got Mason Law underneath him, and that's put him from 1st to 3rd in the space of 200 metres. The Ulsterman suddenly is in real trouble of losing his rostrum place.
Lodge defends now. He's got Mason Law for company. Mason's going to have a look at this up the inside into Druids. Has he got the pace? He hasn't. And that's a big opportunity lost, because you don't get many places to overtake easily around here.
Mason's a proper Superstock 600 scrap going on here. It's now Lodge versus Law, Reid versus Collier. Collier gets underneath Andrew Reid. Reid elbows him and knees him aside as they go into the Cooper Straight, desperately hanging on to that 3rd place. Meanwhile, James Lodge, is he going to take
He's going to do it. He's going to do it.
Looks like he's going to. Collier, I think, has nabbed 3rd place. And as they surge out of the Clark Curve, James Lodge is going to say, is he?
He is.
Across the line, Lodge takes it by half a bike from Mason Law. And 3rd place went to Collier. Collier nabbed 3rd place off the desperately unlucky Andy Reid in 4th. Kyle Wright 5th. Oliver in 6th place. What a ride by James Lodge.
It was a brilliant ride. I don't like to kind of, big up my mates, but he really had a good ride there, did James? Proud of him.
And I've got a feeling that is the first race win for James Lodge in this category since he moved into the National Superstock Sixers. He's done 3 seasons there, and I don't think he's won before now.
That's Lodge's missus in the silly lycra suit there.
So James Lodge, who was 5th in the Superstock 600s last year with 2nd place at Cadwell, 4 times 3rd, finally wins here at Brands Indy on his Kawasaki ahead of Mason Law and Joe Collier. Great scrap. Andrew Reid leads the 3 Yamahas, Kyle Reid and Tom Oliver. Kyle Ride, I beg his pardon, and Tom Oliver 4th, 5th and 6th. Ben Godfrey, Keith Van Leeuwen, Levi Day and Andrew Irvin fill out that top 10 ahead of Charlie King on the Haribo Star Mix Triumph, Nick Anderson, and then there's Perrin, Edwards and Taron McKenzie nicks that last point ahead of Wigley, Wakefield, Philp, Mutton and Keane, who sound like a fine batch of solicitors. So that was the National Superstock 600cc Championship. James Lodge leads the championship table on 25 points ahead of Mason Law on 20 and Joe Collier on 16, Andrew Reid on 13, Kyle Ride on 11, Tom Oliver on 10 ahead of Ben Godfrey, Keith Van Leeuwen, Levi Day and Andrew Irvin. And just outside the top 10 we have 5 points for Charlie King, 4 for Nick Anderson, and then for the number 75 machine, I think that's Josh Perrin. Jamie Perrin, I beg his pardon, who has 3 points, 2 points for James Edwards, 1 point for Taron McKenzie. The first start of the Pirelli National Superstock 600 Championship. Brilliant getaway for the FFZ Yamaha of Andrew Reid, the Ulsterman who put it firmly on pole. And then a pile-up at Druids leaves some fluid on the deck, and there's another multiple collision as the lads come out of Druids. Fortunately, everybody's all right as bikes spin themselves off into a makeshift car park, and then, or bike park even, then we go again. And off the start line, Reid once again gets a scalding start and opens up an advantage at the front, leaving Law, Collier, Reid and the rest, Ride and the rest to scrap behind him. Initially, Mason Law has that 2nd place. And then James Lodge begins to make his move through the pack. Tom Oliver is riding him hard at the back, but James just nicks through underneath Kyle Ride as they go through Druid. And Lodge still has a fair gap ahead of him at that point as he drops down Graham Hill Bend on bike number 7. Behind him, Joe Collier makes a move, gets past Tom Oliver. And then this movement there by James Lodge, for such a mild-mannered lad, aggressive on the track, sits up Andrew Reid and comes across the line with a lap to go in the lead. Then Lodge has to fend off Mason Law, which he does by a bike length across the line to take his first victory in Superstock 600.
Fantastic race from the Superstock 600s. 3rd place, Joe Collier. Joe, you look like you enjoyed that.
Yeah, it's really good fun. At the start, we were struggling to get past a few people, and once we started to get past them, we were starting to get on it a bit. And then towards the end there, I think Andy Reid was trying a bit of dirty, but I'll play dirty if he wants to play dirty.
It worked in your favour. Well done. Good ride.
Yeah, it's really, really good. Well, start of the season, no point falling off.
Exactly. Well done, Joe. Thanks very much.
Massive thank you to SMUK, KGN and Robin Hood Harley Davidson for helping me out.
Just did. Well done, mate. Thank you very much. OK, 2nd place. Mason Law, excellent ride, Mason. It was really, really tough out there, but you made it stick at the end.
Yeah, it was really tough. You know, after the red flag we had at the beginning, it was hard to get back in the groove. It was all down at Druids, and, you know, I was quite lucky to stay on, so I'm just really, really happy to be up here in the box, and I'd just like to say thanks to everyone. Chukmoto, Kawasaki UK, we've got Premier Helmets, City, you know, AA Scaff and Rapid Tyre. Thanks to everyone, and of course my dad and family.
You did them proud today. Well done.
Thanks. Thank you.
OK, let's get on to the race in event. James Lodge, first win in the National Superstock 600 class for you. It's been a little while coming, but it's here now, and you did it in style. Well done.
Yeah, I'm just so relieved to finally get a win. Yeah, I've been so close quite a few times, and just, yeah, it's great to get a win. I mean, I knew I had like quite a good pace, but after qualifying down in 9th, I thought it was going to be a real struggle to even get a podium. So, you know, to get a win out of it, it's just fantastic.
Well done, James.
Yeah, I just want to say massive thanks to Sean Rose and Motorbreakers. Just done a fantastic job all weekend. We've been with them for the last 2 years now, and it's been a great team. So
nice job, mate. Hopefully this is the first of many wins to come then for James Lodge. OK, next up we've got some more stars of the future with the Moto Star Championship. That's next, Moto 3 and 125s. Don't go away.